There was a lot of movement right here, but the slingshot wasn't letting me get in for the majority of it. There was a spot right here where I could have, but I think I was doing something else. Anyway, we missed a short right here. That would have been a nice short. It was a YBR short and a BBC short. Whenever you get those usually work out really well. We grabbed this one right here, which was a trend line long trade, and we picked 15 ticks on that one. We missed the follow-up trade here. I was writing down my results. Had a break-even trade. Missed that trade, that trade, that trade, and that trade because I was trading something else at the time. We had a YBR trade right here. The cycle was going up pretty steep, so I probably wouldn't have done anything with it. We had another long trade right here for 10 ticks. I would have set plus 25, and the rest of them were on break even. There was a YBR short here that worked out really nice. There's a break even, there's a break even, there's a break even. And that brings us to the break. Now, during the break, let's see, what did we have? Excuse me. We had not really much of anything in there during the break. Right in here was a long trade, but it got really choppy in here. We had this short trade right here during the break, and that was it for the gold today. The euro, let's see, what do we do with the euro? Okay, here, let me scroll back. We had a few trades with the euro. Yeah, that was it. This was our first trade. We picked up 6 ticks on that one. Then we had a break even here. And we picked up 11 here to give us plus 17. I missed the follow-up trade here. YBR trades, there was one right here that would have worked out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we were plus 17 on the euro. And crude, we traded crude today too, which lately, as of late, seems to be unusual. Okay. And I'm trying to scroll over here on crude. It's not letting me. There we go. Okay, here we go. Our first trade on crude right here, we picked up 7 ticks. And right here, we picked up one more to put us at plus 8. We missed that one. There was a break even right there. There was a nice YBR trade right there. We didn't capture anything on this move down right here. It looks like we captured a tick there, so that other one might have been a break even, and this was a plus 1 tick. And right here was a shorting opportunity off the YBR. Okay, that was during the break. It looks like it might give us a possible long opportunity, YBR type long opportunity, or just a trend line long opportunity if it closes above this trend line right now, because we have bullish separation down here in the slingshot. Okay, but that was it. That was it for crude oil today. The ES, we only traded a few times, and they were small trades compared to like the last couple of days where we were just killing it on ES. It's not to say that there weren't more trades. It's just that I was clearly doing something else. But we're in and out of this weekly trading zone all morning too. Okay, so here we go. No YBR trades, no YBR trades, no YBR trades, no YBR trades. YBR trades. This one could have been a YBR trade right in here. But we didn't have our regular trend line trades either. This was the first few minutes of trading today, the first 10 minutes or so. This is a YBR trade right here. Put that leg down. As far as the trend line trades go, we had a bounce off the BBC right here, but the cycle was going up too steep. We didn't establish a trend, and we're going down into the weekly trading zone. So finally down here, we got a valid trade set up right here that you could have taken. Then it changed directions and started going back up into the zone, and it was a slow grind up. You see how that was? So it was kind of tough to pick spots with the ES today. And back to the weekly trading zone, then back to the weekly trading zone. This would have been a decent YBR short right here, back down to the zone. Right here, we picked up 4 ticks on that. We missed that one right there. That would have been a profitable trade had we gotten into it. And come on, scroll. We picked up 4 more ticks on this one. And that was also a YBR trade. Okay. It was a trendline trade from over here, but it was a YBR trade from right here. Okay. Then down here I started drawing the trend line, but it was moving around too much on me. We kept it going, and this is a YBR short right here that gave just a little bit. A YBR long right here that worked out just fine. And we had a break-even trade there. That was toward the end of the session this morning. Now, during the break, there was a shorting opportunity here, here, and here. And then it flipped around and didn't give us anything on that leg up. Well, I suppose you could argue there was a bounce off the BBC right here. Went right back up into the weekly trading zone and consolidated there, and that was it. That was it for the ES this morning. Okay, so it was kind of a consolidation day, we'll call it. We still managed to have pretty good profit on the morning per contract, but it was kind of a consolidation day. So here we go. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 22nd day of September 2020. We made 17 ticks on the euro, 8 ticks in crude, 25 ticks in gold, and 8 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus $536 on the morning session. And today it took 21 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $107. And we took a total of 16 trades. So on the month now, we're at $9,838. That's over 15 trading days. And we are averaging $655 per contract per trading day. I am now on my 151st consecutive trading day of getting the goal. And on the year now, we're at $73,294. That's over 176 days, averaging $416 per contract per trading day. If you are not part of the CFRN family yet, and you want to become part of the CFRN family, we've made it very affordable for you. Go to EminiFuturesTrading.com, EminiFuturesTrading.com, and check out what we got going there. Okay? And with that, we can pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Still fiddling with this.
No, the YouTube.
Now, but it's not streaming at the bit rate it's supposed to stream at. I don't understand why the whole thing went cuckoo on me, because it was working just fine. I used it on Sunday and it worked fine. And then all of a sudden yesterday, it just went down, down. Alright, well, I'll worry about that later. Let me take the charts. What chart will that be? There we go. That's the chart. Okay, recap of the recap.
Today it took 21 minutes and 3 trades to get to 107.25.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Let me look over here and see if Valerie has sent me a recap as of yet. Don't see one, but I could be just missing it. So Valerie, shoot me a message if you have, or if you haven't. If you haven't, no worry, don't rush, but we'll go ahead and scroll through the Logic 247 real quick. And we have two types of alert services. We have the Logic 247. Those are the ones that operate around the clock, 24/7. From the moment the market gets open at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. What's going on? Yeah, I'm just making matters worse. So let me leave that alone. Okay. All right. Last week, week 111, we had a total of 68 alerts, 16 never triggered, 52 actionable alerts, 5 were stopped out. So that's 100%, or 10% of actionable alerts were stopped out. And then Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, this past Sunday night, that's when we begin the new week. Good evening, welcome to the Globex. Time you see here is Pacific because I'm on Pacific time. Okay, whatever version, wherever you are located, your Telegram is going to show your time zone. Telegram reads the computer on your clock, and that's what it reflects. So, all right. First alert was on the S&P to be short at 3306. So we dropped all the way down to 32.92. That alert was worth $687.50 per contract traded. Of course, we know we traveled further, but at the time of the recap, that's how far we had dropped. That's the first alert coming out of the gate on a Sunday night. The next alert was for the Dow to be short, $135 per contract traded. Russell was a short, $80 per contract traded. And then we had a no trigger on the Russell. And then on the NQ, $170 per contract traded. No trigger on the NQ. No trigger on crude. No trigger on gold. Silver dropped $125 per contract traded. And then a no trigger on the Dow. And I guess we're still waiting on results for this one. And this one. Here's a stop out on the Russell. And here we are on the NQ. This was a long, $120 per contract traded. This is a short on crude. We're on the X contract now, $290 per contract traded. That's gold. That's a silver, still waiting on a disposition. This was a hedge on silver, dropped $1,125 per contract traded. And then we had another S&P alert. Now this was stacked on top of a previous alert because the market made a nice drop, so it gave us an additional entry. So along with the original entry, we also picked up another $200 per contract traded on this alert. Here's the NQ. This is a long, ran up $360 per contract traded. And that brings us down to our very last one, which was a hedge on the S&P to be short 32.62. Dropped $112.50 per contract traded. So there you have Logic 247 for the week. Looks like we got one stop out in the bunch so far. Now keep in mind we only recap the first trigger, okay? Most of these alerts, both the Concierge and the Logic, have tendency to trigger multiple times, and I'll show you that perhaps here on the Concierge. Last night's Concierge Trade Alerts got them out at 9:20 p.m. Eastern. Try to get them out right after the Globex Open. 9:20 p.m. Eastern on September 21st. S&P, two important numbers. You go and you put a line in the sand, one on the long side, one on the short side. Everything in between is the market making up its mind. And the logic alerts will often walk you right up to the doorstep of the entry on the Concierge Trade Alert. We've been publishing the Concierge Trade Alerts for about 7 years, and with Logic 247, we're currently in about week 112. And Valerie in the background is working on a spreadsheet, so it'll make it easier for you to visualize the progress that we've had over the last 112 weeks in Logic 247. Okay, so let's just get rolling here. You've got a copy of the Concierge Alerts. Let's go to the daily chart first of the S&P. That's right here. Yesterday, on this red candle, we talked about heading down to that 50% fib, and that if we could get through that 50% fib, and that fib was measured from just the last leg up, not the entire move of the S&P, just the last leg up, which began on June 29th and ended on September 3rd. Once we got above the VBC, it was a series of leg and retrace and leg and retrace and leg and retrace. That's how markets work. Price always reverts to the mean. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. There are times when it doesn't hold. That's why we have markets that flow up and down. If the pullback always held, we would just have a flat line type of market. So what do we get? We get just what you see every morning with Michael in the live trading room. Bearish cross, price had pulled away, price pulled back, down close, selling the open of this candle. You see, I'm able to take the same technique, the same methodology, the same strategy that we use on a 4-tick range chart and apply it right to a daily chart or a 30-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, because that is how markets work across all markets and across all time frames. Very important to understand that. So we pull up, we find resistance, get a leg, retracement to the BBC. High probability is that we'll get another leg to the downside. That's what we discussed on yesterday's show. And although we made it to the bottom of that window of opportunity that I had drawn a few days ago, we still haven't quite made it to that 62% fib. Now, the major area for support that I see on this daily chart is going to come right here, where we had the bullish cross. So I don't want you to mistake that as a window of opportunity. That is actually a spot where we expect to find major support. Now, we may find varying levels of support on the way down, but from where we are here, looks to me like on this daily chart, this is where we're headed. So potentially by the end of the week, we could be trading down 3,100, okay, which would be below the lowest weekly trading zone. So it's possible that we have a fast and furious Wednesday, Thursday, and then bounce and actually end back up above that highest weekly trading zone by Friday. The lowest weekly zone at 3188 is right there. Okay, see this little area right here, these lows? That may be it. We'll see. All right, let's go to a 30-minute chart. Break these down. Starting the S&P 30-minute chart. Now, yesterday we had a wide-ranging market, whereas today we've got a sideways market. Big days like this very often lead to days of consolidation like this. Okay, we had a leg and a retracement and a leg. Now, from the entry over here to the exit signal, that was a $2,000 per contract trade. Now we can see that it continued to drop almost another $2,000, it looks like. But then price pulled back to the BBC, consolidated for a minute, and then the powers that be took us above the BBC. And so now we have a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, and we're now trying to build a leg back up to that zone overhead. That is an old zone, a last week zone. Now let me tell you where this week's zone is. 3280 / 3281. Now all members got these zones yesterday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We've been publishing the zones since December 14th of 2009, and as you can see overnight, basically we just sort of chopped about from the zone to the BBC, back to the zone, to the BBC, to the zone, to the BBC, and here we sit right on top of a BBC, or right on top of a WTZ as we speak. Now, from 80/81, the next zone overhead for this week is 3320. Come on, you can do it. I give up. Just that easy. 3220. And we'll make this 3221. If you have questions, put them in the chat box. That's what it's there for. 3321. There it is. So from here, from this consolidation at this weekly trading zone, price will attempt to do one of two things. Because we're consolidating at the zone, I can't tell you which of those two things it's going to be. I can only say that because we're above the BBC, that's the green line, bull bear cross. When we get below the green line, we're bearish, looking for lower prices. And when we get above, we're bullish, looking for higher prices. And so, just based on that, we would look to take out these two swing highs and then cut a path up to the zone overhead. Now, that's if we make the move overhead. Now, from 3280/81 down to the lowest weekly trading zone for this week, that number is 3188. Make it easy. Make it easy. Makes it easy, and then I give it back. 3188. Slash. Let's go upper. 31. 89. Now again, that is the lowest weekly trading zone for this week. So the next couple days will entail price trying to take out this little double top here, power its way up to the zone overhead, or we take out this little double bottom here and power our way down to this area of support. And if we can take out that area of support, then that takes us to the lowest weekly trading zone for the week. Okay. Now, last night's Concierge Trade Alert for the S&P was to be long 32.92, which, as you can see, I don't think we made it. Yep, maybe we just touched it. Swing high here. It was 91.75. Swing high here. Yeah, that was 91. Come on. 91.75. And over here, 32.89. So, that trigger to buy 32.92 has not triggered. And that's an unrecognized phone number, so I won't answer it. Buy 32.92. Now, there is every good possibility that this will trigger at some point during today's session. The short side of that alert is 32.49. And this is what you should do each night when the Concierge Trade Alerts come in, is you should go to your charts, put 2 lines in the sand alongside the short side. The short side is 32.49. Short 32.49. Okay. All right. 92.49. So all price has done is gone sideways, above the BBC and below and above and below and above, and that's just not good trading opportunity. This is what we saw yesterday. That was some fine, excellent trading opportunity. But again, after an extended day like this, after a wide-ranging day like this type of a consolidation day is to be expected. So it doesn't always happen, but more often than not, it will. Moving on to the Dow, talk about flat. Here's flat. Okay, again, wide-ranging day of consolidation, a day of contemplation. The alert for the Dow was to be long 27.210. So there goes your line in the sand. $27.210. Short side 26.870. Oh, did we make it? Did we make it? The swing low was 26.858. So the number was 70. We made it to 58. So that's all at 12 points at $5 a point, $60 per contract traded. Now your key here is, as you're preparing for this trade or any other logic trade that might come along, although you typically won't see a logic alert when price is tied up in a knot like this. Okay, You see over here how the BBC and red and falling, see that beautiful separation that they have? And then they move back together and they move apart again. Okay, once these two clamped down last night about 22:30, much of nothing. And here's still that window of opportunity that I showed you yesterday on the show that never materialized because price just never got there. Okay. Now, it's important for you to understand you're going to have great days like this. Okay. And you're either going to make your goal for the day and go away, which is preferable, or you're going to try to fight it out. I had a huge day yesterday. I'm an awesome trader. I'm not going to let this little business here keep me out of a day of good profits. Well, unless you get lucky, you are. And luck's not a good trading strategy. When these two indicators are trading flat like this, not like this, but like this, you need to leave that market be until it starts to look like this. Leg and a retracement, and a leg and a retracement, and then a leg that gives you a lower low, and a lower high, and a lower low. I mean, that was just beautiful, majestic trading yesterday. Today, not so much. Go to the Russell. What do we got? More of the same. Okay. So on the Russell, the alert was to be long 1508, which obviously, we never saw 1508. And on the short side, the alert for the Russell, 1477. Like we caught just a wee bit of that. Come on. 1477. Okay. All right, so from 1477, we had a swing low at 72.80. So we'll round it up and make it 73. So from 77 to 73, that's 4 points. At $50 a point, that's $200 per contract traded. Over here, from 1477 down to 1465.60. It's a 10-point move. At $50 a point, it's $500 per contract traded. Okay, let's do the NQ. Last night's alert for the NQ was to be long 11060. 11060. Looks like we caught just the very top of it. 11060. All right, so the first push up took us to 83. So that's 20 points. At $20 a point, that's $400 per contract traded. And then the swing high here was 73. And so from 60 to 73, that's 13, that's $260 per contract traded. And the short side for the NQ, a 10867. 10867 which could still come into play today. I'll just write it in for you. Sell 108.67. Okay. Now, let's get the zones situated. We've got a zone at 11.098 for this week. Right? Oh, had it. 11.098. All right. 11.098 slash 99. Okay. And then below that, we've got 10.947. 10.947. Okay. Sale price comes right down to the zone. Makes a run at the zone overhead. Can't do it. Comes all the way back. Can't do it. Comes right back to the zone. And is still having a hard time pushing that boulder up the hill to 11.098. This is a market showing increasing weakness. Okay. This high couldn't make it. We did get a higher high, but we didn't make it. Then we got a lower high and didn't make it. And right now we have an even lower high. This is another market you need to be kind of careful with right now. Okay. Let's go to the crude. Last night's alert for the crude. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to grab your screenshot earlier, here it is again. Snap, snap. Okay. All right. So now the YouTube studio is telling me that I have excellent condition, excellent stream condition, which is great, and I'm happy for that. Just doesn't explain why it didn't turn on immediately. They've added a whole new control panel. They took what was a very simple process and boy, they worked really hard to complicate it. But hey, you got to flow with the times, right? All right, crude. Consider being short. 39.65. And 39.65. We'll do right about here. I suspect. And let's see, crude 39.65. So from 39.65, we drop down to 39.36. So from 65 to 35, that's a $300 per contract move. We get back above the trigger, back above the BBC. And this time, we drop from 65 to 48, $70 per contract traded. And on this one, we actually caught a drop to 39.25. So from 65 to 25, that's $400 per contract traded. Now the long side for crude, 40.35. Hang on to that number. Yeah, I might need it before the day is out. 40.35. Let me label it. Buy. $40.35. Okay. So that takes care of crude. Let's go to gold. BG asks, so if we break above 32.81, is it a buy? Hang on. Are you talking about the S&P? If we break above 32.80, no. That's a weekly trading zone. The trade alert is to be long 32.92. Because if you get a break above 32.81, I mean, you might be able to squeak out a couple points, but most likely you're going to run into resistance at this swing high. So I would let it break through 32.81, and then I would, on a smaller time frame, look for a little pullback right into the top of this trigger, and then that should give you a beautiful trade right up to 33.20. You're very, very welcome. I haven't talked to Garrett today, Tim, so I don't know if he's going to join us or not. He's been going through a thing or two. So, but Garrett, I'm going to be wrapping up here shortly, so if you're listening and you plan to join, jump in. Same goes for you, John. If you're planning to jump in, you need to go ahead and jump. Okay. So, gold. More flatness. See how all the markets are different? See, and it's on days like this that we go, okay, I've cracked the code, I figured it out, I know what to do now, right? Well, I mean, it was hard to get yesterday wrong. If you sold the market, you didn't have to do anything else, right? And so you feel pretty good about things. Unfortunately, every day is not like this. Typically, following a day like this is a day best spent fishing, or tying lures, or making a big sandwich, or walking a large dog, whatever you have that you do, because this, we've seen it now on 5 different markets, this led to this. Not good trading opportunity. On gold, the alert was to be long 1930. So I'll put it up here for future reference. 1930. And then on the short side, 1913, which actually gave us a little something to work with. 1913. All right. So selling 1913. Our initial drop took us down to 1898.9. Basically, it's 14 points at $100 a point. That's $1,400 per contract traded. And we got back above the trigger, dropped again. This time the swing low was 1900.8, so we'll call it 1901. That would be a $1,200 per contract move. And on silver, let there be flatness. The long side for silver is 25.41. Never touched it. And the short side is 24.20, which we actually did touch. And actually 24.20 here made it down to 24.03, so that's 17 points, or 17 ticks. And here we made it down to 23.91. So from 24.20. So 17. This is about $800 per contract trade. And then 91, which is about a $450 per contract trade. And those are the numbers. S&P, Dow, Russell, NQ. And I don't know that I ever saw, oh, there it is. I'm sorry, Valerie, I missed that when it came in earlier. That's my fault. Certainly not yours. So let me display this week's recap in its entirety. Oh, that's Mondays. I could have swore I just saw Tuesdays. Yeah. Copy. Space. All this. And let me display it properly if I can. The resolution of her screen is different from mine, so that's why I have to tweak it a little bit when it comes over. And if I knew how to sync up our resolutions, I would do that, but I guess that's over my pay grade. Okay, so now we can wrap this thing up with Logic 247 results this week so far on a Tuesday at 12 noon. 21 total alerts have been issued. And these aren't the concierge, these are the logic. Logic is based on current price action. Concierge is based on historic price action. And when those two point their finger at the same important price, important area, that's where you'll typically find your highest probability, lowest risk trade setups. So 21 alerts, 5 never triggered, 4 we're still waiting on the results, 12 actionable alerts. One of those has been stopped out. You saw that when I scrolled through them. I think it was the Russell. So 8% of actionable alerts have been stopped out. Now, a typical number on any given week is about 20% being stopped out. On a typical week, we issue anywhere between 50 and 100 alerts. 100, I think, is like the most we've ever issued in a week on the logic side. And I think probably 55 maybe on the low end. It's in that area. But you should typically, on average, look for about 10 alerts a day. Okay? Now, we don't just post every setup that comes across our screen. We're diligently looking for high probability, low risk trade setups. Those are the ones that we post in the channel. So out of 21 alerts, 5 never triggered. That left us with 12 actionable. One of them got stopped out. So 8% of actionable alerts stopped out so far this week. Okay. Alrighty. Good word for the day. Yesterday, we talked about God and his desire that you and I succeed. That is his heart's desire, that you and I should prosper in all things, even as our soul prospers. Now, biblical prosperity has a whole lot to do with more than just money. 3 John 1:2. I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. So he's really watching our back. He's got all the bases covered. Jesus said in Mark 8:36, "What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul?" And to drive home his point, he told the story of a rich man who died and went to hell, while a poor man on his doorstep went to heaven. Bottom line, there is nothing is more important than your salvation. BG asked, is there a scripture about multiple incomes? Matter of fact, there is. The Bible says that a man should have multiple streams of income. It actually goes so far as to say he should have 7 streams of income. And that's part of why we do what we do. We trade, we teach trading. We got a whole lot of irons in the fire around the trading camp because it seems most wise to create your multiple income streams around something that you actually know a lot about. Let's say you've got a car lot where you fix cars. Well, every now and then somebody's going to get a car fixed that they can't afford to pay to be fixed. In your spare time, you're going to fix it because it's yours now, and you're going to park it out on the side of the building. You're going to put a for sale sign on it. Boom, you just developed another stream of income. You fix vehicles, and boom, now you got a car lot. Now, of course, everybody knows that before you can drive a car off a lot, you got to have insurance. Boom, you just developed another income stream. Now you have a young lady who sits in the back. She's your insurance agent. She's grinding out those policies all day. Now, a lot of people who buy the cars off your lot, they don't want those standard stock wheels. They want those fancy wheels, the kinds that keep spinning when you stop at the red light. So you find a distributor, you guys work out a deal. Next thing you know, you got a car repair shop, you got a car lot, you got an insurance business, and you sell tires. Right there, just off the top of my head, I came up with 4. Now, most people like their car, once it's been fixed, to be nice and shiny and pretty, right? So that little patch of land right next to your shop that they thought nobody would ever buy because it's just weirdly configured, bam, you put in a car wash. So you've now built 5 income streams around something that you know a lot about, automobiles. So while your 7 income streams for the Bible could be about anything, I think it's biblical wisdom to play to your strength. If God gifted you with the ability to lay hands on a car and the thing just cranks up, then maybe that's where you should work to build your multiple income streams. And the purpose of multiple income streams is because on the day that nobody needs their car fixed, somebody might want to buy a car. And on the day that nobody wants to buy a car, somebody might want to put some of those fancy wheels on the car they already have. You follow me? Okay. Love to have that discussion with you sometime. You know, book a one-on-one mentoring session anytime you like. But that's a long answer to a very simple question. Be careful. I have a tendency to do that. Now, back to the scripture. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? And to drive home his point, he told the story of a rich man who died and went to hell, while a poor man on his doorstep went to heaven. Bottom line, nothing is more important than your salvation. That's why Jesus came and died on the cross. Not so that you could fix cars or wash cars or write insurance on cars or even put fancy tires on cars. He came, he died a horrible death, but that you might have eternal salvation. But while you're here, he doesn't want you to just sit in the park and play chess all day with the other old guys. No offense to the old guys in the park. I know you're listening. But while you're here, God has a plan for your life, and he wants you to succeed. John writes, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. Now, note that phrase, in all things. That includes your health, your mental and emotional well-being, your family and relationships, your career, and finances. All things means all things. There's not an area of your life that God is not interested in or that he won't get involved in when you seek him, obey him, and honor him. In the Old Testament, he said in Deuteronomy 29:9, this is where we get a lot of our financial instruction. He said, keep the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. And in the New Testament, Jesus said, seek first. Actually, he said, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Aren't you totally invested in the success of your children? When they succeed in life, don't you celebrate with them? Well, as his redeemed child, your heavenly Father is invested in your success and celebrates it with you. So start praying and believing him today for success in all your endeavors. May his blessing be upon whatever you put your hand to. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.